So Roy sent us over a copy of their bike setup app for us to check out, and we're going to take you through the app so you can get a sense of what you can do with it. First step obviously would be to download the app. After you've downloaded it, you can just launch it from there. And at only $1, it's pretty easy for us to recommend this app for you. What the app does is essentially allows you to digitally log your settings for your bike, and any sort of setup experiences or feedback can also be documented. It's great to have a logbook like this, so when you're out in the field you can quickly hone in on your favorite settings. The app is pretty simple and easy to use. Right away you can see we've loaded a few bikes in the app. You can sort of zip through there like that, and all the data is stored locally on the device, so there's no cloud or internet connectivity necessary after you've downloaded the application. And obviously this has its pluses and minuses for a variety of reasons. The good thing about this is the data is always on your phone, so even if you're in the sticks without internet access, you're still going to have access to the setup information. Since all the data is stored locally, this means that you're not going to be able to have a community-based effort or tie it to an online database, so all the data is going to have to be manually entered. So once you initially get this app downloaded and installed, you won't have any of these bikes here that you see, so you'll have to go here in the corner, click the plus sign, and basically you'll be adding a bike. From there you basically would just pick a photo and then start entering in a lot of the information, such as the bike model, how much travel is in the front, the rear shock, make and model, and all sorts of data like this to essentially have a baseline for the information that's going to be processed later. So after you've added a bike, it will then pop up in your screen, the main screen here. And so for example, if we go here to the demo 8, so you can see here I've already added a setting, but what you would do then is click the plus sign, and basically you'll run through the setup of adding front suspension, rear suspension, tires, testing location, as well as an overall rating. Okay, so jumping into it here, we're going to take a look at the front suspension, for example. So you can see there's some information here that I've added, and some of this will be pre-populated, based on if you had added the information at the beginning. But from here, you document, how much sag you used, and it'll automatically calculate, your sag percentage based on that, as well as documenting, rebound as well as compression. There's only one field here for each of those, so if you do have, low and high speed rebound or low and high speed compression, you may need to go in here, and you could basically use this setting here to basically document two settings. Rear suspension, similarly, you can basically dial in the settings that you have here, as well as the sag, rebound, high speed and low speed. So you may need to use a field for two things here. Okay, so then going into here, you can check out the tires. Again, you can set the model as well as the tire pressure that you used and how you felt that the grip was, or just the general feel for the front and the rear. Okay, and then jumping into the testing location, you can sort of set the trail name, trail difficulty, the temperature, weather conditions, trail conditions, what kind of terrain it was, if it had good flow, or what the jumps were, and as well as the drops. So you can sort of just basically have a quick logbook of how you felt the bike worked with those settings at this location. And then lastly, you have the overall rating, where you can sort of adjust some generically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that will basically pop back up on the main screen there that you can see. And you can basically, keep adding settings here, so you can basically, create a log of your favorite settings, so they're quickly easy to, jump back and forth to based on, either location or the type of terrain that you're riding. So there currently is no way to really resort the list, so it's arranged in the order that you add things. It's a pretty good app to always have, with you handy. It's easier than carrying a piece of paper, and it's real nice to have, your settings readily available for you. If you do want to edit, a bike, for example, you can just go back in here and hit info, and you can click the edit button there and basically edit the top level of a specific bike, or delete it if you wanted to. Similarly, you can edit or delete settings. So if you did make a mistake or you wanted to tweak your thoughts on a specific setup, it's really easy to do that as well. And once again, you can delete if you want to, which might be a good thing. Once you get your good setup, you can, sort of delete the setups that you didn't really like too much, to basically quickly jump into your good settings. So hopefully you like that little app walkthrough, and you can find it on the Apple iTunes Store, and works pretty good.